All right. Hola, comadre.
Hello, hola, comadre. How are you?
How are you? Oh, I'm doing
I'm
good. How
great.
are
I'm
you?
sorry. Good. There's probably a delay as per
Uh,
usual. It's okay. We'll fix it
oh,
in editing. So
we'll fix it. We try to come on here super professional, but we were laughing so hard before this. Jenny,
yeah.
what are we doing today?
Today we're doing a deep dive on Marcello Hernández, in honor of the special that just came out, and I don't know. I feel like I didn't have any immediate plans to watch it. I felt like I was going to get around to it, but then Val told me whenever it first came out, she was like, "Dude, you have to watch this." And then I was out drinking with my brother and my fiance and some of his friends, and when we came home, we put it on, and dude, I was like laughing the hardest I've laughed in a very long time. It was so accurate. And so we figured we'd do a deep dive, but then like the more I was learning about him, I was like, actually, this guy's like really entrepreneurial and like very inspirational. So I
Mm-hmm.
kind of wanted to bring some of that in there. So he
Mm-hmm.
couldn't join us today. No, just kidding. uh,
He has a busy
we'll
schedule.
manifest it. Yeah. Yeah. He couldn't
Yes.
pencil us in. We'll manifest it for next time. So, Marcelo, if you're listening to this, you should join our little cute
Yeah.
podcast.
He should bless us with his presence.
Yeah.
Okay. So before we get into all the ha ha ha's and the Netflix special, because we do want to make you guys laugh and go over some of the jokes, Jenny put me on this podcast from Dax Shepard, and they actually talk a lot about his upbringing, which was very
Yeah.
similar to mine and maybe Jenny's. So we really wanted to appreciate like who he is as a person versus just like the comedian. And also Jenny is very entrepreneurial, and so am I. So we just want to do Marcelo justice and, talk about the ha-ha-has and, all the funny,
Hmm.
relatable stuff, but also him and the person that he is. So Jenny,
Yeah.
lead the way.
Yeah. And the work ethic. I think that's the biggest thing that stood out to me when I was
Mm-hmm.
listening to that. Cause like, it just goes to show how much our people are willing to like put up with whenever it comes to like getting to where they want to be in life. And obviously that shows in like our ancestors and the generations before us, but even
Mm-hmm.
people who are our age. And I've been lucky enough that I've never had to like clean up vomit, but he was saying that on the episode. He was like, yeah, like I used to have to do that in the clubs, or I was selling tickets in the streets of NYC, or I used to drive the very comedians that I work with nowadays. So I think that's so freaking cool. And I feel like it just makes his journey so much more valuable because of all that hard work that he put in. So that was like the biggest thing that kind of stood out to me from that podcast.
Yeah, for me, well, there was a lot of like definitely the hard work. Also, I think he went to one of like a major city, like he was in Miami, Florida,
Mm-hmm.
which I think would be like the equivalent of being like Chicago or like New York or LA versus like where my parents immigrated to. They immigrated to like a small town.
Mm-hmm.
So my story is a little different than his, but I definitely resonate to like him speaking about his mom and his dad or stepdad in this case. But just kind of saying like how much love he had for his mom and how he just wanted to pay it forward and how he really
Yeah.
tried to be committed to school and like be like what is it like a commendable student. And he's like, my
Mm-hmm.
mom's working all these jobs
Oh
and she's doing all these
yeah.
things. And he's like, and I'm just a crappy student, man. And he's like, he's doing his
Oh.
best, but he's like, I just suck at school. I know. Yeah. So now,
Yeah.
like, paying it forward to his mom,
Yeah,
I
I
was
thought
like,
it was
same.
cool though too, because I guess like later on, once he started getting into college, like he was able to get like scholarships and stuff like that. And I thought it was so funny because he was like, I was like Troy Bolton over here, like I was playing soccer, and then after my practice, I would have to tell the guy that I needed to go like do a like an open call or something. I'm like, dang, okay, cool. Like
Hmm.
multifaceted king over here, like exploring all of his options. So yeah, I don't know. I thought that was super cool and kind of seeing how he randomly took interest in comedy later on down the road. Like it wasn't his initial goal. But then as he explored it more and more, he ended up really liking it and just kept going. So I don't know. I think that's really cool because I feel like a lot of people who are famous or are in Hollywood or at that really high level, they're like, oh yeah, this was my dream since I was a kid. So it's cool to see somebody who was like, I don't know, I let life take me where it wanted to, and here I am, like I'm living the dream. So I thought that was like awesome. But
Yeah, I agree. I think it's like super relatable, especially for people that are still figuring it out. Which like no, I don't think there's anything wrong with that because I've definitely been in that boat where I'm just like, man, like I have this education, but I don't know what to do with it, and I definitely know what I don't want to do with it. So kind of the fact that he also like pivoted and like sidetracked, I was like, dude, same, same.
yeah.
Also, he talked about like really interesting subjects. I know Jenny has notes, but he talked about doing morning pages. Jenny and I do
Yeah.
morning pages too. Marcelo, come on the show.
Yes. I know. So I thought that was so cool when he brought that up because if you don't know what the morning pages are, it's from a book called The Artist's Way, which is a workbook of an artist who created these workshops that she teaches to people. I don't know if she's still with us. I don't know. She might be on the older side if she is still living, but she taught a lot of workshops in New York to struggling artists who kind of were having a lot of blocks and like not knowing what to create next. And one of the things that she preaches is doing morning pages. And so it's where you write 3 pages of just like literally the most random stuff ever. There's no rules. It's just stream of consciousness. It's so that you can kind of do a brain dump. And I know Val did a video on this recently that you can see on her YouTube shorts where she talks about it. It's a really cool technique to use. And honestly, I find it very therapeutic because like my mind gets very cluttered, especially if I'm doom scrolling a little more than usual and I feel like I need to just like get all these random thoughts out of my brain. It really helps me and basically just helps you to get like the creative juices flowing. So that's one of the methods that she uses to help remove those artistic blocks. And I was like, dang, he does it. That if he can do it, then I can do it. And you know, that means it works, right? I don't know. That's my proof.
Yeah. Yeah, so like during the interview, he just like casually was like, I was doing everything. I was doing the cold plunges. I was doing the morning pages. I was doing this. And I was just like,
He
dude,
was
I've been
jumping
there.
rope
I've
in his
like, I've,
underwear.
yeah. Yeah. Oh man. Which I think that was so funny. But I was like, dude, same. Like the energy, I was like, bro, same. And then his experiences growing up in Miami, Florida. Jenny's lived in Florida.
Yeah.
Jenny,
Yeah.
where were you in Florida?
I lived in Orlando. I actually am so sad, dude,
Oh,
because
okay.
I never got the chance to go to Miami. I lived there for 5 years consecutively, but technically altogether I lived there for like 7 years. And I don't know, it's a really long drive. It's like 4 hours. And especially in like Florida traffic, it's really annoying. But they constructed a train. It's called the Bright Line train. A few years before I left, and I kept wanting to go on it because I think it gets you there in like less than 3 hours or something like that. But it's also super expensive, so that's just why I never really made it out there because if I went to Miami, I wanted to do Miami right. But that's okay. I thought it was cool, like listening to some of his experiences though, growing up in Miami because Florida culture is just something different. Like I feel like Florida is like its own country in some ways. Like, there's just a lot of funny things about living there. Val and I actually want to do an episode where we talk about my experiences in Florida. So maybe we'll save a little bit of that for later.
Mm-hmm. All right. In the notes, okay. I also see like the practice of family events. Let me see. Priority being like the family and like the village and like all of us as a team versus kind of like the
Yeah.
individual. I don't know what thoughts you have on that.
Yeah, that's something that I noticed whenever I was watching the Dax Shepard podcast. What is it called again? Armchair, armrest, arm
Mm-hmm.
something. I don't know. Can't remember. We'll
Yeah.
put it in the show notes so you guys can go watch it. But I mean, it's all over TikTok, so I'm sure you guys know which episode we're talking about. But he was saying, because they were talking about discipline and they were talking about spanking and like getting hit growing up. And Dax was wondering, he was like, you know, what's so interesting to me is how like Hispanic people, that was their experience growing up, but they still talk to their family members. Whereas like white people, like, we don't do any of that. And then like they'll go years without talking to like their first cousin. And in my head, I was just like, I'm following. But I think the point that he missed, and this is just my personal opinion, but I feel like the reason why that is my experience of being so close to my family members is not necessarily because of the discipline, but more so just because that was ingrained into my everyday existence. Like it was very normalized for me to see all of my cousins and be with my cousins as if they were my brothers and sisters. And we would go to my grandma's house every single Sunday after church. And, you know, it was not very common for somebody to stay home. Like if they stayed home, they would have to be like really sick. And I think nowadays, for good reason, it is normalized to kind of have more of that self-care approach and be like, you know what, I'm just not feeling it. Like I need to, you know, not deplete my social energy and like stay home. So that is good. But then at the same time, I feel like there's kind of like, there's two sides to it where it's like, well, if you're staying home all the time, how do you expect to build the bonds with the people in your life? Like sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes it takes showing up and being part of that village in order to build that village around you. You have to like be willing to be vulnerable as well. And you have to be willing to show up even when you don't feel like it sometimes. So that was my personal take that they didn't really talk about. And I just wanted to share that. But I'm curious what your thoughts are on that, Val.
Yeah, so I'm living pretty far from home right now, and I do miss like the kickbacks, the carne asada, the, fill in the blank, the birthday parties, all this stuff. And I understand what you mean, where like when you live so close to your family, there's times where you're like, oh, like another event, or like, oh, we're doing this weekend again. But then I think for me, it became less about, so sometimes my cousins wouldn't show up, and it's cool when you get to grow up with your cousins and you see your cousins grow up and then they're adults and then your cousins are having kids and you're like, oh my gosh. But
Yeah.
then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm the tia now. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm the tia.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I gotta go to that event. Like I gotta be the cool tia that does
Yeah.
crazy stuff and goes. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm like, I gotta go be the cool tia. I'm like, I
Yes,
gotta
I
assume
have
the
a
role.
duty.
I have a duty. Yeah. So before I moved, I'm like, I'm the unmarried cool tia that'll give my nieces and nephews money. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I had like a paper
Oh
or a
yeah,
roll,
I
or like I
forgot
was a cool
about
aunt.
that. Giving money. No one ever gives me money anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I used to get money all the time. Like my grandpa would always give me money. My grandpa would just like
Mm,
randomly sneak me like $10 like after church. He
mm,
would, but it was so cute
mm.
because he would do it to all of his grandchildren. And I'm thinking about that now. I'm like, bro, every Sunday he had like, right now, I think the count is at like 15, but we those are with like the really little cousins because my youngest cousin right now is I want to say like 6. So when I was growing up, I think there was like 7 of us. So like imagine handing out 70 every Sunday. That's crazy.
Crazy. Dang. But yeah, I think also, I don't know what keeps us, I don't know, united, but just me, like, I also wanted to see my cousins. So I didn't, like, for example, the Sunday after church, I'm like, well, I don't really want to go to church, but I want to see my cousins. So I was like, I'll do it so that I can go hang out with my cousins. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And then
family is
sometimes
a
you get
big,
there and you're like, you know what? I'm so glad I came. Like today was the best day ever.
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm. So yeah, definitely I think that podcast just shed a little bit more light on his like upbringing. He definitely talks a lot about his mom, about soccer, kind of how that's what paved the way for school was soccer, and then him being like, I'm gonna not do soccer anymore, and like crying. He's just like, I felt that like that resonated with me where he's like, I'm not gonna do this anymore. and then like just seeing like, well, I'm gonna do comedy, like hope it works out, and like it did, but you're just like, it's
Yeah.
like scary.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. So let's see. The one thing that I really liked is that he talks about both cultures because he's got his Cuban culture and he's like, this is what it's like to be like Latin or Cuban, and this is what it's like to be American. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have any other thoughts there.
Yeah, like specifically whenever he talks about his experiences in Ohio and like how the parties were so different. And like the
Mm-hmm.
guys, like it was mainly like the guys getting together, it wasn't like the girls. And I thought that was kind of interesting because I feel like, I don't know, you could tell me what your experiences were about because I really didn't. I did go to parties, but not till like college, and I feel like it was a pretty mixed bag of people. Like it was like both genders, but I do remember like if you're going to the club, like usually the girls cover is free because they want to have more girls than guys, kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I just thought that was kind of funny.
Okay, so I'm going back to college. Let's talk about college and high school. All right, team. Mom, if you're listening. Just kidding. But no, so I come from a really, really big family, and my family is Mexican or Hispanic. And my family actually threw some, I don't want to say wild parties, but very
They threw
loud
some ragers.
bonfire. They threw ragers, like straight up. Like Jenny, have you been to our parties? I think you have. No,
I went to one, maybe, possibly. I
yeah,
don't
my
remember.
quince, like my
I'm blacked out. Just
little
kidding.
quince-esque. Yeah, I know
No, just kidding.
Blair. I know she's been to parties. She's like, I love this. And Blair,
Yeah.
well, you guys don't know Blair, but Blair, if you're listening, she's a dancer. She taught me how to dance, and so Blair was getting down with everyone. Like she was dancing, and everyone was like, "Oh, we love her. She's part of the family. Like, bring her
She gets
back."
invited to
Like
the
she
carne
was
asada.
to the carne asada. Yeah, like they're like Blair, like they all like loved her. But
Yeah,
yes,
everyone
so
loves
it's
Blair.
funny because sometimes, yeah, I would go to parties or like for example, I was in ROTC and we would have spaghetti dinners. Jenny
I
was at
remember
one of my spaghetti
those.
dinners.
Yeah.
And they were very, very, very tame. And don't get me wrong, that's
Yeah.
okay. That's okay. But I remember my spaghetti dinners, my spaghetti dinners. Like we had scary stories. We went out of the house and we were playing hide and seek and like
Like
abandoned,
in the
not
streets.
abandoned, but like in the
Yeah, like
streets,
in the streets of the
hiding in the
neighborhood,
like, in the
in the
streets of
desert.
the neighborhood, the desert. Yeah.
Like
So
for
that
real,
was
we're not
like just
joking. We're
completely.
laughing, but really, that's what we did.
It was true. Yeah, it was true. So yeah, so I can imagine like the culture where he goes from like Miami, which also is kind of like party, like it's a party city
Hmm.
for sure, to like Ohio. Yeah, I could definitely see how things were different for sure.
Yeah, I feel like so I kind of had the opposite experience because I went from New Mexico to Orlando. So like
Mm,
for me, it was a culture shock in a good way, and I think I've talked about this on the podcast before because I Orlando is literally the biggest melting pot. Like the dream of what America wants to be when it comes to a melting pot is literally Orlando. There are Mexican people there. There are Cubans, there are Puerto Ricans, there's white people, there's black people, there's people from Haiti, there's Asian people, there's people from France, there's people from Morocco. Like literally you have such a big mixed bag. So I had such a cool time getting to know all these different people, and I loved asking them questions about their culture just purely out of curiosity because I only grew up with a select few groups and I didn't really have that diversity. And so that was really cool for me to see. And then honestly, I really didn't like party in Orlando that much just because like Orlando, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I might have been scared. Like Orlando is just such a big place that like I was kind of scared to go downtown. And I actually do have a crazy story about going downtown. I'll probably save that for the episode where we talk about me living in Florida because that one's kind of a long one. But where was I going with this? I don't know. I just feel like the vibe was very like it was very much girl living in her 20s kind of a thing, and that was very fun. And then moving to Tennessee has been a little bit different. I have had the chance to go out a few times, but it's more so like bar hopping. I haven't really been to the clubs yet. And I always ask people this because apparently this is not very common to go two-stepping, like country dancing two-stepping. I thought that I would be able to find places to do that in Orlando, and that was not the case. Like, there is a country bar there, but all they do is line dance. And then Tennessee, some people have told me they've seen it, but whenever I ask them, they are always kind of confused. They're like, well, what do you mean? And I'm like, okay, well, if you have to ask that question, like, you guys probably don't two-step. And then it was funny because I was going to my cousin's wedding in Indiana, and I hadn't been to a wedding in a really long time. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to go two-stepping and like dance with my brother, because my brother is a really good two-step dancer. And my sister-in-law, she actually lived in Wisconsin for a little bit. And she was like, girl, I don't think it's going to happen for you. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? Why? And she was like, well, when I lived in Wisconsin, people do not know how to two-step there. I went to the clubs and they were grinding to country music. And I was like,
Okay.
what?
Whoa.
She was like, yeah, that's what they do there. And also Wisconsin is like one of the like most heavily drinking states in the United States. So yeah, Midwestern culture is very different. It is very, very different.
Which is interesting because I'm gonna add to that, because in New Mexico we're right on the cusp, right next to like El Paso. But dancing, and I don't know, Jenny, I'm gonna ask for your thoughts in a second. But I feel like dancing is very ingrained in our culture, whether
Yeah.
you're dancing to Mexican music like cumbias or you're two-stepping like Texans get down. Like
Yes.
some fine cowboys out there, like just dancing like a man in a hat. Like, ma'am, would you like to dance? And like an accent, like, oh my God. So it's
Yeah.
interesting to come from like a culture that dances,
Uh-huh.
whether it's country dancing and two-stepping, or like just dancing cumbia, or even other line dances like salsa or merengue or whatever. And like, I mean, Jenny and I mean, that's where we grew up. So we have friends that got married that are Hispanic. We're Puerto Rican. I'm thinking of Joanna, and like dancing was like a big
Mm-hmm.
part of her culture. She's Puerto Rican, and so just a lot of like music and dancing. But I don't think it's like explicit to like Latinos or Hispanics, because again, we're right on the cusp with Texas, and like
Yeah.
Texans get down. At least the Texans
Yeah,
that I
dude.
know.
I remember they taught us how to dance in PE. Like, that was one of the requirements. I can't remember if this was in elementary school or middle school, because there might have been two separate times. Because I think there was a time where we like learned how to square dance in fifth
Mm.
grade. I don't remember how to do that anymore. But then in middle school, I remember I have this very vivid memory of the gym at Camino Real. If you went to Camino Real, you're a real one. Also, just don't pretend like you didn't know me, because those were the most embarrassing years of my life. But yeah, we were taught how to like do two-step, and they would make us rotate partners. So I'm just like, I guess that
Mm.
wasn't everyone's experience, but I learned how to cumbia from my mom, and I also learned other dance. Like, I learned the electric slide from my mom, and like,
Mm.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Mhm. Dang, that's cool,
Yeah.
Jen. That's cool. Dang. So yeah, the Ohio differences. I was like, dang. Because I'm here in Washington too, and I've looked for like Latin this or Latin that or dance here, and it's just not. Texas, San Antonio, yeah. Other places, yeah. But that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's transition into his comedy styles. I think his comedy is very real. Like for example, we talked a lot about the dancing, but the family discipline, because I was telling Jenny about this, the spanking jokes. So I was telling Jenny that my dad, my sweet father, never laid a finger on us. My dad was a stern man with kind words, and he was like, "I'm disappointed in you." Like he hit you with words, but soft words. Well, my mom, anything, she's like the spoon, the what is it? The broom, the mop,
The
the
whisk.
the belt, the whisk, the
It's like,
chancla, and like
dude, this
anything.
is
She'd
like
throw it, she'd
Clue.
hit it.
It's like Mexican
Yeah.
Clue. Did she hit her with the chancla?
Yeah. My mom, my lovely
Oh
mom.
my
I'm all my
gosh.
love. I'm saying it all
She
scared.
hit
I'm
her
like,
with
my
the
mom.
chancla in the
The
sala.
chancla. The sala. One time, oh my gosh, you guys. Oh, well, it's like a secret. It's a podcast. Everybody's listening. Mom, love you. You are great.
Well,
You are.
don't tell
This is
anyone.
who I am because of you. But she was babysitting my cousins, and she was watching me, my brother, my cousins, and I did something or said something, and she got mad, and she like went to like hit me with like something, and the item broke. And I think she got scared that she's like, oh my gosh, I just hit my child and it broke, like the thing broke. And then my brother's like, whoa, Val's
There's evidence.
strong. And then yeah, and then everybody started laughing. And then instead, like, it just, I don't know if it made it better or worse, but she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. And then everybody was laughing, but I think at some point, like, we just all outgrew it. But my brother can't let it go. She's like, remember the time you broke that wooden spoon on Val? Or remember the time that you, like, we don't even remember what the item was.
She's like, we
But
don't talk about that anymore.
we don't talk.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's
Dude, that's so
funny.
funny. I can't remember if I talked about this on the podcast or not. Did I ever tell you the story about my dad spanking me?
No,
Oh my
no.
gosh. So it's funny because my dad's white. But I don't remember my mom ever spanking me. My mom told me that she did spank me once, but I really don't remember it. But there was this one time that my dad spanked me. Y'all, this is like the most embarrassing story. I can't believe I'm putting this out in public, but like at this point I've told it so many times, so whatever. So I was probably like 3 or 4 years old, and I just got done taking a bath. And my dad, he like wrapped me up in a towel, and he was like, all right, go to your room, and we're going to put your pajamas on. So I go to the room, and I don't know, I was probably bored because he was taking forever, or I don't know what. So then next thing you know, he sees me sprinting out of the room naked. And he's like, Jenny, get back to the room. Get ready for bed. So then he like wraps me up again, and then he takes me to the bedroom, and he's like, I'm going to clean up in here. Like, I'll be there in a second. So then sure enough, I think I do it like 2 more times. I'm just like running around the house butt naked. So then finally my dad like has had enough. So he scoops me up in the towel again, and he stands me on top of the toilet, and he spanks me once, and he spanks me twice, and then the third spank, the towel drops. He spanks me on my bare butt because like it went too fast, and like he couldn't think to stop himself. So when he spanks me on my bare butt, I was like, ah, I'm bleeding.
Oh
So
my
then
gosh.
he's like, oh shit. So then he wraps me up in the towel, and I'm like crying, and he's like getting me ready for bed. And then whenever he tells this story, he always talks about how like 20 minutes later, I go up to him, and he's like sitting in his recliner, and I sit in his lap, and I was like, I'm sorry, Daddy. And he was like, my heart just melted, and I felt so bad. And he was like, I told myself I was never going to spank you again after that. But yeah, dude, I thought I was bleeding because, again, vulnerable here. I looked at my butt cheeks and they were red. So in my head, I was like, blood, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh my
there's my
gosh.
embarrassing story for the internet.
Dang. So, oh my gosh. I love my mom with all of my heart, Jenny. That's funny. That's dang. Parents, you guys, this is with love. This is with love. This is with humor and love.
Yeah.
During, I think I don't know if it's during the podcast interview, he talks about like the language differences between English and Spanish, and how we
Mm.
just don't have certain words, and certain cultures have them, and certain words don't have them.
Yeah.
And he's like, whenever you have a stomach ache in English, you say like, oh, like my tummy hurts. But in Spanish, like you don't have tummy. Like you don't say like, mi tummy hurts. You say like my stomach. Like
Mi
mi estómago
estómago.
me duele. So it sounds
Yeah.
just, yeah, so it sounds very proper, very like very serious. So children tend to sound very serious in Spanish. And there's just like certain words that we don't have in like the direct translation. It's in Mexican Spanish, because I there are like different dialects, but like in
Slang. Yeah.
Mexican Spanish, yeah, you have like pancita, or you have the ito, like
Yeah.
hijito, mijita, like everything's cute. Everything's
Uh-huh.
cute in Mexican Spanish,
Yeah.
sometimes. But I remember I had knee surgery once on my knee, and the knee was getting infected. They had to go in and they had to clean it. This was when I was like maybe 6 or 7, okay? And
Oh
I
my
didn't want to tell
gosh.
my parents. I didn't want to tell my mom. Yes. So I go to the hospital, and after the surgery, they interview me and they're like, "How come you didn't tell your parents?" And I didn't have the word for spanking, because I don't even know what spanking is in Spanish. Like nalgada,
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. So I didn't know how to say like, oh, because I was afraid to get spanked. I was like,
Uh-huh.
because they were gonna hit me. And so that
She was
was
gonna
like a
whoop
red
me.
flag
They're
for
all
messing around,
CPS.
for playing. They did. They called CPS. And
What?
so they
Oh
did.
my
Yeah, I had a social
gosh.
worker for a little bit. Her name was Cindy. Cindy,
Was
if
it
you're
real
listening,
or
just
was
kidding.
it
She
like
was great.
Marcello's situation?
No, it was real. Like
That's
Cindy was
crazy.
real. Cindy,
Cindy,
but
I met Cindy.
better. Um, but basically, what social workers do, like, they just make sure that like you're not being neglected, that there's like food in the fridge. Like, I think they were just kind of worried, like, was this like disciplinary, or like was it like, are you neglecting or
Yeah.
abusing your child? They do track that, like, you go to school, because sometimes when like parents neglect or hit their children, they want to make sure that they don't go to school with bruises, because
Hmm.
teachers are what is it, mandated reporters. So yeah, shout out to Cindy.
Yeah.
Cindy, you're doing great work out there. But yeah, Cindy was great. She'd bring me snacks. She'd take me to the park. She'd play with me. She'd be like, "Hey, is your mom hitting you?" And I'd be like, "No, mom, I love you."
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Dang, that's crazy.
oh man, I feel like
Oh,
my
you
mom should
said
have a
something.
podcast.
Oh, dude, that'd be so funny. Imagine if our moms like came together and had a like how these little girls
Oh,
stressed us out and gave us gray hairs.
yeah, yeah. So,
Oh man.
yeah,
Oh, you said something
yeah.
and I wanted to respond to it and I can't remember what it was.
The social worker, the spanking, the English and Spanish.
Oh, we were talking, yeah, maybe something about that. I don't know. I can't remember. I can't remember. We'll move
Don't
on. It'll come
worry.
back to me.
We'll move on. Okay. So we talked about him moving away for college. Oh my gosh, the ADHD jokes, Jenny. The ADHD jokes. Okay.
Yes.
Um, okay, I don't even know where to start. So, um, in the Netflix special, Marcelo makes a joke where he's like, "Yeah, so the doctor said I had ADHD, but then I told my mom, and she said I don't have ADHD. So, I guess I don't have ADHD." Um, and that resonated a little bit. That resonated for sure.
Just a little bit. Yeah, Val,
Mm.
what experiences do you have?
Okay, so team, I don't know if you know. Oh, well, but I was diagnosed ADHD. I was diagnosed as a child, but my parents were like, no, like my parents are
Nah.
Mexican. They're like, no, we don't. They're like, we don't believe in that. It's like, it's like, no, like
¿Cómo que
that doesn't exist. No.
ADHD?
Yes, exactly. They're like, no, that sounds very American. That's we don't believe in that one. We don't subscribe to
Yeah.
that. No, one time,
So it's
so
American.
this is crazy. This is crazy. But the school I went to in Mexico, they couldn't hit you, but the teacher walked around with a ruler and she would like snap it. She would like whip it,
Like at the
which was funny
desk?
because when I
Yeah.
watched Harry Potter, yes, when I watched Harry Potter and Snape would do that, I'm like, yeah, that's relatable.
You had
Like, yeah,
flashbacks.
like that, yeah, I'm like, that makes sense. But
You're
then
like,
when I moved
Senora
to the
Rodriguez?
US, Senora, yes. But like in Mexico, I was a really, really good student because that was primarily like my first language. But I would daydream a lot and I would doodle a lot in classes. And the teachers were like, "Well, it's not a behavioral problem. Like she's not a bad kid. She doesn't disrupt class, but we don't feel like she's
Yeah.
listening. Like she gets her things done, but she just daydreams a lot and she doodles. Well, when I moved to the US, it was basically the same thing, but now I literally couldn't habla, like I couldn't understand because of the language
I couldn't
barrier,
habla.
and it just got worse. Yeah, I was like, I
Yeah.
don't know what you're saying, bro. Like, I don't know. I don't know. So I'm just gonna doodle. So that's all I would do in school in class was doodle. So my mom, she's like, "Well, you can spank her. You could like just whip one on her." And the teacher's like, "We don't do that."
She's like, I give you permission.
I gave you
That's
permission.
crazy,
She's
dude.
like, "We don't."
She's like, it's okay.
Yes. She's like, "We." She's like, "It's
I won't
fine.
tell.
You know, if she's not listening, you can just like, yeah, yes." And she's
Whack her on
like,
the head.
"Ma'am, like we." So we don't do that. Have you considered that she might have ADHD? And then my mom's like, "Can you consider that she doesn't habla? Like, have you considered she doesn't understand?" So
Wait, so did they like just throw you in English classes or did they give you ESL?
yeah. No, pretty much it was English
Dang,
classes, but then
it's
after I
crazy.
wasn't doing well, they
Oh,
did move
I
me
remember
to
what I was
like
saying.
ES they
Sorry.
oh,
I'm writing it
tell us,
down.
Jenny,
Keep
tell us.
talking. Keep telling. No, I'm gonna. No, I need. You have to
Okay.
finish.
Um
I'm writing it down.
okay.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
So they did move me to Spanish speaking classes, and then I did better. And then eventually, like, yeah, I had to build like a lot of systems. Like, I had to build so many systems. Eventually, I did get into like honor classes and AP classes, but I had such a team of like my counselor like would help me with my classes, and like even the way my schedule was structured, like I would have
Mm-hmm.
some sort of like PE in the morning, whether it was like ROTC or gymnastics. So I would have some sort of movement in the morning that
Mm.
would help me focus for my
Because
next
of
two
the
classes.
ADHD.
And then I would have yes, I know, you guys. Like, yes, yes. And then I would have lunch, and that was a good breather. And then I would have like a serious class after lunch. And then after that, I would have some sort of like gym or something at the end of the day. And then like PE, like I was very, very active, but mine was hyperactive. So I needed something where I could move a lot. So they would just schedule me
Mm-hmm.
where like you need to sit down and then you need to move. And then you need to sit down and then you need to move.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but
Reminds
my
me of
parents were
Catholic
like,
Church.
nah, that's oh, ha 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 ha, that's funny.
Maybe that's where
Oh
we got
man.
it from.
Um,
That's funny. Yeah, I
okay,
don't know.
Jenny, what were
I
you gonna
don't think I
say?
have a formal well, I don't have a formal diagnosis, but sometimes like I have symptoms for sure and I'm like, do I have ADHD or at least ADD? Cuz I don't have the hyperactive,
Mm.
but I don't know. Anyways, the thing that I remembered, it's because you started talking about learning Spanish, and that reminded me of something
Mm.
that my brother and my sister-in-law told me about my niece. Because again, we live here in Tennessee, and my
Mm.
niece, she is 3 years old, and she goes to daycare, and she's not fully bilingual or anything like that, but like it's just super common to use like Spanish, like random Spanish words every now and then, um like if she's eating watermelon, like we don't say watermelon, or not watermelon, sorry. If she's eating cantaloupe, we'll be like, "Oh, is the melon good?" Or like we'll be
Mm.
like whenever she was 2, we would be like, "Where's your panza?" And she would like show her panza, so she knew certain words. And it was funny because one day my sister-in-law went to go pick her up from daycare, and they were like, Is she bilingual? Like, does she know Spanish or something?" And my sister-in-law was like, "Oh yeah, she knows a few words." And they were like, "Okay, we couldn't figure out what she was saying. She kept saying that she has mocos." She has boogers. And my sister-in-law was like, "Yeah, that's boogers. Yep. But it's just like, it's funny because there's like certain little words that we use in Spanish. I don't know. I thought it was really funny. But anyways,
Mm.
I guess it wasn't that funny. But I think it's cute.
I think it's so cute. I think it is funny because like boogers, like the sound, and then like in Spanish
Yeah.
like mocos,
I like mocos better.
mocos.
I feel
Oh,
like it's just, there's
mocos.
just some words that have like a better sound in Spanish.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know, Jenny. Regardless whether or not you have ADHD or not, it's not an intelligence. It's not like how smart you are. I think
It's
it's
just
a
a different
superpower
way.
because
Yeah.
yeah, because compared to my peers, I knew I was very creative. So I always thought that was my superpower, but I always felt like I just need to control it. Like you gotta chill, Val. You gotta focus. You gotta focus.
Mhm.
So, the ADHD, yeah, my friends are like, nah, we don't believe in that. They're like, no, that's not true. That's made up. My
Yeah.
parents still, they're like, that's made up. I'm like, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess it is.
I guess it
Is it
depends
not?
on
Because it's
who
like,
you ask. 'Cause, I mean, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, okay? Listen, guys. If it helps you, do what you need to do. But apparently, the guy who coined the term, he came out and said that it was all a bunch of like hoopla. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have all the answers.
I don't
But
either, but I do think that different brains are wired for different things. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
And I think like everybody, this is getting a little off topic, but I feel like everybody's approach is different. Like, again, do what works for you. If you feel the need to take medication, then that's fine. But if you want to do like work on some natural remedies first and like just take care of yourself and like make sure you go to the gym frequently, make sure you are journaling or meditating or eating healthy or this or that or blah 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 blah, like do what works for you. So I'm not knocking it, I'm not saying it's not real, I'm just saying who's to know. We don't know.
Yeah, who's to know?
We're
We
on
don't
a
know.
floating
But
rock hurling through space. We don't know anything. It could all be a lie. This could all just be a simulation,
yeah,
but
I
that's
don't
getting
know.
crazy.
Honestly, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
well, yes, no, yes. I feel like everything's made up though, because I'm like, somebody had to invent it. Somebody had to put a name on it. Somebody like, where
Yeah.
does somebody had to coin it? So I'm like, whatever, it's fine. It's
True.
fine.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Women and endurance, Jenny. This was such a,
Oh
I don't
my
know. It wasn't
god,
very,
dude.
I don't
I
want to
was
say
laughing so
feminist, but it was
hard.
like all the things we've
He
endured, Jenny.
understands. Yeah.
He gets it. Yeah, he gets it. Um, I love my brother. I feel like my brother is great because of me, because he has a sister. I'm like, you know what they're going through, because you see me going through it. So he's like, I'm like, you better be nice
Yeah.
to her. I'm like, I'm like the older brother, but I'm like the older sister that has a little brother. So I'm like, you're
Yeah.
nice to her. Pick her up. Take her on a date. Open her door.
Yeah.
Like all these things. Like you don't know what she went through. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's true. And like literally for, I don't know, I don't want to say since birth, but like at least since our preteens, we've been trained to like just be in pain all the time. Like when he was talking about like waxing and he was like, wakata, wakata, like saying that we're like ripping hair out of our face and plucking it out of our chin. And I was like, yes, he understands. I was like, say it louder for the people in the back. Yeah.
Yeah.
So accurate. But yeah,
Dude.
he's a girl's girl for sure. You could tell he has sisters.
Yeah, he's gonna be a great dad. A girl's dad. He's gonna be great. He's gonna be great.
Yeah.
I actually do think so. My dad grew up with a lot of sisters, and my dad was such a gentle soul. My dad was so amazing. I love my dad. My mom too. Love her. I love her. Love her. Um, but yeah, the waxing, the shaving. Dude, I remember well, Jenny knows my current waxing situation. Jenny knows everything. But waxing's crazy. That's whack.
Yeah.
Shaving, girl, I remember the first time I shaved, I cut my leg. Like, I imagine peeling a carrot. That was like my skin. Like, I shaved, like the
No.
shin. Yes, and I was like, ah! And like, after that, I was terrified. I didn't
Ow.
shave for a whole year
Wait.
after that.
Wait,
That's how
did
crazy
you
it
use
was.
water?
Yeah.
Like did you
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, cuz I remember, oh man, dude, I'm like about to start telling some crazy embarrassing stories, but I feel like since we're on the topic, I remember whenever I was first introduced to shaving, I don't know why it was such a like taboo subject for my mom. Like my mom was so uncomfortable with dealing with this period of my life that was
Yes, same, me
puberty.
too.
And she was like, okay, well, we're not going to start you off with regular razors. Those are for grown-ups, but we're going to start you off with Nair. So I put like the Nair cream, and then there was like this like plastic razor, and it was just like this like thing that you could use to scrape the hair off. So we used that, but she didn't let me shave above the knee like for a really long time. Like I started shaving my legs, I want to say when I was 11, but like this was the Nair. And then I didn't like actually start like using razors until maybe like the end of 12 or like getting closer to 13. And then I remember my leg hair, oh, this is so embarrassing, I'm just gonna say it. So my leg hair was starting to get really dark because I'm Mexican. Look at this, like I'm Mexican, my hair's dark. And I remember my brother and we were gonna go somewhere, and at this point he already like had his license, so we get in the car to drive, and I was wearing shorts, and my upper thigh was so hairy because my mom didn't let me shave above the knee. And my brother's like starting the car, and then he looks over at me and he's like, I really need to tell mom to start letting you shave your legs all the way because that's crazy. And I was like,
Oh my gosh,
so offended.
Jenny.
I was like, oh my God. And I was like, what do you think I've been trying to do for years? But thank God for my older brother, because he was like, Mom, you got to get over this. Like, she's growing up. Like, let her shave her legs. This poor girl is going to get made fun of by like, these middle schoolers.
Dude, I love you so much. I love you and your brother so much, because I feel like your brother is such a gentle soul. He's like, Mom, can you just please, like, can you,
It's like, you got to do something.
throwing you a lifeline. Oh, dude, I love that for
he
you.
was
My
really
brother's
saving
like,
me from
Val,
the
you're
bullies.
such a troll. Oh,
Yeah, it's because he's
dude,
your
what
little
a
brother.
sweetie.
He has to annoy
Yeah,
you.
he was punk. Yeah, he was punk. He's like, ew, you ogre, you troll. He's like, Fiona. I'm like, oh my
He's
fucking
like,
bro.
keep her like that. It's fine.
Yeah.
Let her
Oh
be
my
hairy.
gosh. Well, I remember, so with me, I didn't have a lot of leg hair, so it wasn't that bad, but it was dark, because, like, dude, yeah, like, I'm a brunette, so I'm like, you could see it. My mom's like, oh, it's not even a big deal, it's not bad. She's like, it's kind of cute, and I'm
It's
like,
just a
no,
little
Mom, it's not
peach
fucking cute.
fuzz.
Like, it's not. A little peach fuzz. I'm like, it's not cute, Mom.
I
So,
look
yeah, I
like
definitely was
Sasquatch.
like, oh, gosh. Yeah, so that was rough. The body hair, yeah, getting all of that wax for sure. That was quite an experience. I remember one time I got my eyebrows threaded, and my brother was just watching, and he's like, "Does it hurt?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Why are you doing it?" I'm like, "So my eyebrows look good." My brother, he's like, he's such a sweetie. My brother would come with me to all these appointments too. Actually, the Marcelo thing really did kind of resonate, because I would bring my brother. I brought him to get my nails done, and he was like just with me. Like, poor thing, he's just sitting
Just
there,
sitting
like
there.
smelling all the
Yeah.
chemicals. The same thing with the eyebrows. He's just like, yeah, like, oh gosh, this little kid. Dating. Anytime I
Yeah.
went to the mall, my parents made me bring my little brother. He was like like everybody's like,
Oh.
why is that little boy with you? I'm like, he
Yeah.
comes everywhere I go. He's my shadow. He reports back to my parents.
You're like, just ignore the little Mexican boy in the corner.
Oh yeah, it's like, yeah,
That's just
yeah. He's
Pepe.
what is it? Boyfriend control. No one's gonna date her if her brother's around.
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh
But that didn't
gosh.
stop them.
Yeah.
They just ended up becoming his best
Yeah.
friend.
Best friends, yes, I know. Isn't that funny? Jenny knows, because Jenny knows. My brother's friends with all of my exes. He's like, yeah, so I was talking to so and so the other day. They're doing great. I was like, that's
You're
lovely.
like,
He's like, yeah.
why?
We didn't Yeah, he's like, we didn't talk about you though. I'm like, I don't care, that's
You're like,
fine.
thank you.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah.
so funny,
Yeah.
dude. Oh my gosh.
Dang.
I'm laughing so hard. My
Okay.
cheeks are going to hurt at the end of this.
Me too. Dang. Okay. Language, identity, and belonging. Okay. The Spanish versus English jokes did feel accurate. Being corrected, judged, or teased. Were you ever? judged, corrected, or teased. I was corrected in English and Spanish. I was like, I don't know in either
Yeah.
language. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, well, yeah, mostly in Spanish cuz like I would just
Mm,
say things the wrong way because it's not my first language. I'm still learning. I'm still figuring it out.
mm,
But yeah, I would get corrected or like so I love my grandma, but the thing that she would do that made it confusing for me was she would try to finish my sentence, but like how do I explain it? Like not in a way that helped me correct it. Like she would do it from her perspective. So for example, I'll be like um let me think. Like the one I struggle with is like whenever somebody tells you something like él me dijo. Is that right?
yeah, he
Like he
said,
told
yeah,
me. That's
he
right.
told
Okay.
me.
So say I would accidentally say él me dije instead of él me dijo. So I would say él me dije, and then my grandma, instead of like correcting me and being like, "Oh no, Jenny, it's él me dijo," she would just finish my sentence from her perspective. So she'd be like, "Oh, sí, sí, se dije, okay, he told you," and but that made it confusing because then I'm like, "Oh, I'm right. All right, cool." You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
like it's really hard for me to conjugate in past and future tense. I'm getting better,
Mm-hmm.
but like yeah, my grandma would do that a lot. But I don't know. I feel like I can't think of anything where people would really make fun of my pronunciation. If I don't know, if there was a situation, it's probably just I blacked out. I like I blocked it out from my memory because I was tired of being made fun of.
Mm-mm. No, you're good. I think, do you feel, do you think, what do you feel? Do you think you have split personality? Just kidding. Do you think you're a different person in Spanish? I think I'm a different
Yeah,
person in
kind of.
Spanish. Yeah?
Sometimes. Kind of.
Oh.
Maybe not a completely different person, but it's just like me in a different font. And then it's actually
Oh.
really funny because sometimes I'll have dreams where I'm speaking perfectly in Spanish. Or like if I'm drunk, I speak pretty good Spanish. And it's like something about like my mind relaxing, like I can get it flowing. But whenever I'm nervous, I mess up even more. Or like there's been times where I'm like editing the podcast and I'll say a certain Spanish word and then I hear myself say it and I'm like, "Oh girl, you sound so white." But like I know that's not how I pronounce it. It's just I'm nervous and so I it's hard for me to get into the flow. Especially cuz like English to Spanish, I feel like the movement of the mouth is so different. So like whenever you're first
Mm-hmm.
transitioning from English into Spanish, like you gotta like warm up. I don't know how to explain that, but like once I get it flowing, I'm like, oh, okay, this isn't that bad, you know?
Mm-hmm. No, that's cool. No, that's really, really cool. I was talking to my husband about languages, and I was saying that to me, Japanese and Spanish, depending on like like intonation or like the pronunciation, they sound very similar to me, like very
Mm-hmm.
like precise words. And I was telling him that Italian sounds like people are singing. Like Italian just sounds
Mm.
like poetry. And
Mm-hmm.
like um Puerto Rican Spanish sounds like Spanish, but like they're singing it. Like it's really fast. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
slow it down. And Dominican Spanish, I'm like,
Yeah.
it's got a beat. It's got a beat,
Oh
but I'm not
yeah. Oh yeah.
understanding.
It's like a drum.
Um, yeah, I'm like, it's a lot of sass. It's a lot of sass.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Spanish fell. I think she's funny. I think she's funny. Sometimes I think I understand a lot. I do really good. I do really really good. I just try to keep up with like my cousins, and they're on a different level because they're from Mexico. So, dang.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do they like whenever they speak in Spanish, like do they have like what kind of slang or not slang but I guess dialect do they have because I know that there's like northern Mexico and then there's like Mexico
Mm-hmm.
City where it's like the fresas and they'll be like o
Mm-hmm.
sea and then there's
Yeah. So,
like tropical which is kind of similar to Puerto
mm-hmm.
Rican but sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, no, no, you're absolutely right. So Mexico City, I would describe it kind of like being in like in New York or Chicago, where like you are in a big like
Mm.
conglomerate city. And yes, like I feel like the culture there is definitely more like, I don't want to say higher class, but it's like city life. You dress in coats, you dress in nice like dress shoes. They go to like private schools. Like it's very like upper middle class.
Mm-hmm.
Their culture, like where they come from. Yes. And they do say words like fresa would be kind of like spoiled or like, oh, too good for that. There was one word that I really like, fifi. Fifi means rich. It's like, so we were trying to
Mm-hmm.
go to restaurants and we're like, oh, do we want like fast food like In and Out or do we want like fifi? And I was like, what's fifi? And she's like, it's like the bougie stuff. Like, are you fifi? Like, are you bougie? And I was like, oh, I like
Mm-hmm.
that. I like that.
Yeah.
And then
Like
there
adding
is
to the
like El Rancho, but
vocabulary.
yeah, but then there's like the country twang, like the same way that we have country
Yeah.
here in the U.S., like there's country in Mexico, and then you're that like their Spanish is just I don't like it. I don't like it the way I like country twang in the States, but that's just my
Mm-hmm.
preference. And then there is the Caribbean. There is like the Caribbean Spanish, which I think is just very relaxed, very calm. Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds a little bit more Puerto Rican for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think.
That's so interesting.
There's more Afro influence too.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's so
Yeah.
cool.
Um. Okay. So zooming out, Jenny, because Marcelo took us through so much, so many ha-ha-has. What does Marcelo represent right now? Yeah. What does he represent right now in comedy? Hmm.
I feel like, let me think.
I had a
I feel
thought.
like he unlocked like a secret part of the country that's been there all along, but nobody's really had the
Mm,
chance to like focus on it or see it. And it's cool,
mm,
especially like it being him being on such a mainstream show like SNL. It's cool seeing those jokes written into the program and like being able to laugh because you can relate. Like SNL has always been pretty funny, but like this just adds another layer to it and it's just like so much more funny because of that reason. Like before we started filming the podcast today, I showed Val the episode of him and Pedro Pascal where he's like, my son don't have no ADD, he just likes to jump.
he likes to jump.
And
Mm-hmm.
and then I know he has like a character. I haven't seen too many skits of it, but like one of his characters is like Domingo. And then he's done, oh, what was it? It might be the same sketch, but like he's done like parodies of Sábado Gigante. And I don't know, I just think that's
Mm,
cool because it's like stuff that we got to grow up with. Let me look
mm-hmm.
up Domingo SNL.
Mm.
Oh yeah, no, I guess
Um.
Domingo is like its own thing, but yeah. Anyways, keep telling me.
Um.
Keep talking.
So I think I kind of had this realization as we were talking, but growing up, like I grew up like for Mexican comedians because I do have other comedians that I really do like, but Mexican comedians I can think of like Gabriel Iglesias and like George Lopez,
George
and I
Lopez.
feel like they were like the uncle or the dad, like their perspective, making fun of the kids. But Marcelo is like the kid that's like roasting the parents and like roasting,
Yeah, or like the older
he's like
cousin.
us.
Yeah.
Yes, I feel like
Well,
he's
he's
like
literally, I
us
think
and he
he's our
grew up.
age. Yeah. So it's like
Gosh,
so
let me see
relatable.
how old he is. That's funny,
Yeah,
but
I think he was born in
um
like 97 or something.
imagine
Yeah, no, I
he's
think
like
that
these
is
old
cool
ladies.
though
Oh,
too.
he's 28. He's 28. Okay.
Yeah.
Imagine he's like 23 or 20 something. He's like these old ladies were laughing at my jokes. Just kidding.
These señoras.
Oh, these señoras. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I also kind of seeing that, I mean, Latin culture is similar and different in other countries, but it's just like, hey, we're from different cultures, but it's kind of the same. It's similar for sure, I guess.
Yeah. Um Sorry, you were when we were talking about SNL, I thought to myself, you know what would be such a funny skit that he could do is Walter Mercado. I feel like that'd be so funny, dude.
Oh,
He needs to do that.
Marcelo, if you're
If you do
listening.
that, write us the
Yeah.
check, okay?
I know, right? Right. Oh gosh, we should have an episode on Walter Mercado for
Oh,
anybody
for
that doesn't know
sure.
him.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
such a
I love
vibe. We
him.
should dress up. Wear like just come out here. Just have a
Yeah.
whole get up, Jenny.
Piscis, Escorpio,
Pisces. So
Tauro.
much, so much. You guys gotta look at who this guy is because he's so serious though. I don't think he
No,
was
he wasn't.
comedic, but I don't think that's what
Not intentionally. I
not
don't think he was
intentionally.
comedic
Yeah, I'm like
intentionally. Yeah, but he
yeah,
was
not
such a
intentionally.
sweetheart. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so why? I guess some final closing thoughts. Why does his comedy? Yeah, why does his comedy matter? Like, why does it matter to us, to our culture? Is he healing through laughter? Like, why is he so resonant? Is that a word? Why does he resonate so much, Jenny? Like, why?
Hmm. I think he's really good at bringing that like that primo energy or like that uncle energy of like the uncle who just like is so funny, like the one who's the life of the party, and he brings that into like all of America. Like all of America gets to witness him and like see that magic. A lot of people, I don't think they have the opportunity to see that just because they might not know many Hispanics or Latinos, and so like them getting to see that and like witness it firsthand, it's like yes, like you're laughing too, like it's funny, you know what I mean? So like I
Mm-hmm.
really like that because I feel like it's I don't know, just personalizing us a little bit more and
Mm-hmm.
making it better for like inclusion, you know?
Yeah, Jenny, this is completely, well, it's not random, it's related, but he's got this joke because he looks white, like he's white passing, and one of his jokes, it's like white comes in all kinds of ethnicities or like in all kinds of shades. But he's like, I know I look white. I know you think my name is like Timothy Charlemagne, but my name is Marcelo Hernandez. Do you ever
Yeah.
feel that? Like, did you ever like, my name is Jenny Whitmer? Like, did you ever
I
feel
don't
like you were white
know.
passing but you weren't Mexican? Like, what is your
So
identity, Jenny? How do you feel?
so listen guys, okay? Because I feel like, and this is me, this is my opinion. I feel like I look very ethnically ambiguous, where a lot of people can't really tell what I am. I know a lot of people ask me if I'm Italian. Sometimes people have
Mm.
asked me if I'm Greek, and I've one time somebody asked me if I was Egyptian, and I was like, I can be, but I me personally, I feel like I don't look that Mexican. Like looking at my face right now in this camera, I feel like my eyebrows, yes. Like my eyebrows are so Mexican. I got my mom's beautiful, thick, luscious eyebrows, and that is like the trademark for the Martinez's. But I have light eyes and in the winter I'm very pale. And I have a Valley Girl accent. Like I definitely have that New Mexico slash California accent. And so I think when a lot of people see me, they probably just assume that I'm white. But then it's funny because I'll ask people and they're like, no, I thought you were Hispanic, like, or some kind of Hispanic, or, maybe like not fully white, but like something else. And I'm like, I feel like you guys are lying to me, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me like gaslighting myself because growing up with my cousins who were all fully or all fully Mexican, I did feel so white in comparison to them. So I don't know. You guys would have to tell me. I don't have the self awareness to like be able to say.
Mm.
I don't
Mm.
know.
Which is funny because like Miss Universe, like I feel like one of us, she reminds me of you because she's got the dark hair, but she's got like green
Mm-hmm.
eyes, and I'm just like, she reminds me of my best friend. So it is true, and it is funny
Oh,
that
that's
like
sweet.
Mexicans come in all shades. Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
just like that's cool. Like it's such a diverse melting pot, and then also like here in the U.S., it's
Yeah.
very diverse. Um,
Well, and then I
oddly
feel like,
enough, a lot of
oh, sorry. Go
go ahead.
ahead.
No, go ahead. No, you
I
go.
was gonna say I feel like no, you go. I feel like on the inside, I feel very different from how I look. Like I feel fully Mexican on the inside. And then it's funny because you're right. Like my last name is Whitmer, and I'm just like y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even know. Like there are layers. So or like I feel like the other thing too is because my mom is Mexican and I spent most of my time with my mom growing up and like my mom's side of the family, I had literally only or like 90% Mexican experiences, and I didn't get to spend that much time with my white side of the family. And a lot of people like just don't, again, they just don't know it. Like they just don't get it until they start talking to me, and I tell them stories or they start having conversations or whatever. I feel like it's also different having like a Hispanic dad, and I'm not saying this to discredit anybody, because if you are any part Hispanic and you have that culture in you, you're valid. Like I'm not saying this to unvalidate anybody, but I feel like I can kind of notice the difference with like celebrities where their dads are Hispanic, like Demi Lovato or like Selena Gomez, and I think it's because their moms are white, and I feel like they just don't have as many stories, you know what I mean, or like similar experiences as me growing up. I feel like they have the look for sure, like you can tell that they're Latina, but like I don't think they have the same kind of background. And again, I'm not saying that to invalidate anything, but there's like a difference there, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm gonna shut up.
No, you're good. No, that's cool. The Martinez trademark is the eyebrows. That's cool. In the Osoyo, it's the jaw, but we get this from my grandma. She was native. I feel
It's
like
a
I
good
lean more
job.
native looking. Thanks. No, thanks. I got it from my grandma. I got it from my grandma. She was mean, dude.
She gave
But
it to me.
anyway, she gave it to me. Anyway, Jenny, I have no idea what to talk about next. Let's see. Closing
I don't
thoughts, Jenny.
know. I think that's a good recap of
Yeah.
everything. I feel like there was one more thing that I wanted to talk about. Let me look at the notes real quick because I can't remember. Do 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 do. Um. Oh yes. I was gonna say I feel like Marcelo, he has mastered the art of calling people out, but in a funny way, like lightening the mood and not making like people feel bad about it. Like they just kind of laugh, because I keep seeing this clip that goes around on TikTok of this other podcast that he recently did. I think it's called like Bad Friends or Bad Guys or something like that. And the host, he is like saying something, and then I guess the host, his ex-girlfriend is part of the podcast, and she went to like go get Marcelo something because I don't know if he like I can't remember what it is, like he wasn't feeling well or something like that. And then she walks out of the room, and then it's funny because he talks behind her back, but in a good way, and he's like, dude, you dropped the ball on that one. Like, what do you like? What's happening? And like, it's funny because he's calling him out, but I feel like he does it in such a funny and lighthearted way where he's like, okay, like I'm bringing the self-awareness to you, but like I'm making sure that like we're still also like laughing and having a good time, because it's also like not that serious, but like you kind of need to know, you know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
thought that was
yeah.
really funny. Or like a lot of people have been commenting on one of the clips from the Dax Shepard podcast that we mentioned at the beginning, and how he was like, oh, Sabrina Carpenter, man, like if I was your age, like I would totally be dating her. Like what are your thoughts on that? Da, 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 da. And then Marcelo, like in such a graceful way, he's like, well, actually I'm with a beautiful, wonderful, amazing woman. Like she's Dominican, she goes to Yale, she this, she that, da da da. And then he's like,
Yeah.
but Sabrina's awesome. Like love Sabrina. She's so cool. And I'm like, oh, I'm taking notes, my man. Like what a graceful way
I
of doing it.
know.
But
Yeah.
like making your point, asserting your boundary, but also like keeping it lighthearted and fun, and like I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah, I definitely think I do think that comedy is an art. But just like being able to like be funny, because some people can be like very serious. Like, well, actually,
Mm-hmm.
I'm already dating someone. It's like, okay, okay. So yeah,
Yeah.
that comedic aspect. But I know the clip you're talking about for the like he's feeling a little hungry and he's like, oh no, his blood sugar dropped. We need to go
Yeah.
get you food. And he's like, she's so motherly. And I know what you're talking about. It's
Yeah.
like, you dropped the ball. What a funny way to just do that. Man, maybe we should take stand up, Jenny.
Oh,
We should
dude, I
just
don't
go
know.
figure
I don't
out.
know how he does it because I feel like if I bombed, I would just cry on stage. I would just be like silently with tears rolling down my face. I'd be like, "Okay, guys, have a good night. Sorry I bothered you with my random stories."
Uh,
He was speaking of which, he was asking because he was on Brittany Broski's little show. I can't remember what it's called, but I sent it to you. The medieval one. And he was asking her, he was
mm-hmm.
like, "Would you ever do stand up?" And she was like, "I did it once and never again." And like, I'm with her. Like, I would never, I don't think I could ever do stand up, but like, I would totally make a weird show where I invited guests and like banter off of people because I feel like that's the only way that I'm really funny. I don't think I can ever just like sit up there on stage by myself and just tell jokes for an hour. I don't know.
Mm.
That's just me.
I
Would you
don't know.
ever
I
do
think it's a
it?
funny thought experiment. Would I do it? Yeah, I think I would. But yes, I would. But because I grew up with around so many cousins, a lot of them being male, and I was like one of three females, and I didn't see my girl cousins all the time. So I feel like sometimes I was the only girl, and they just roasted me. I was just like, man. So I feel like that was the training grounds. Like part of me's like, I'm ready. I was built for this.
You're like, "You think I feel rejected by you? Try growing up with all guy cousins." And they call you names
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
We were talking about this the other day, like
yeah.
how Hispanic people will just be like gordo or flaco or pelon. Or like
Mm-hmm.
I was telling Val the other day that one of my cousins, we used to call him pelon growing up. And
Mm-hmm.
okay, this is like my second cousin. So when I was living in Orlando, there was a different second cousin who came to visit me, and him, Pelon, and my second cousin who came to visit me, her name is Nancy. They're first cousins. So they're closer and they see each other more often and they're always like at family events together, whatever. So when she visited me in Orlando, we were catching up and I was like, "Oh my gosh, how's so and so? How's so and so? I haven't heard from them in a while. Like, how are they doing?" And then I was like, "How's Pelon?" And she was like, "Oh my God, I completely forgot that we used to call him Pelon." I was like laughing. I was like, "Oh yeah, haha, whatever." And her fiance was there and he was like, "Pelon." And she was like, "She's talking about Tiny." And I'm like, we went from one nickname to the other. Like, sorry, Pelon, if you're
Oh my
listening
gosh.
to this, but like, I just thought that was
Oh,
so
that's
funny. I'm
funny.
like, girl, like, what? Why did we change it? Like, yeah, I
Why
guess
did
he
we
just wanted to
change
grow
it?
his hair back.
Oh gosh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Dude, so this might not be as funny. That's okay. But I had a cousin and he was a punk. He was just a little punk.
Hmm.
And his nickname was Punky, like Punky. And
Hmm.
up to this day, we're
With
still
like
like,
an
how's Punky
E.
doing? Like with a Y, like punk, and then with a
Oh.
Y, like Punky.
Uh-huh.
And
Okay.
yeah, up to this day, we're like, how's Punky doing? It just sucks that like I'm sorry, bro. I know you have a name, but we don't think of you that way. My brother, he was very hairy as a kid. Like, so my grandparents used to call him Lobito, like the little
Oh
wolf.
my gosh.
I don't know, that's traumatizing. But
Dude, no, that
he's
reminds
like,
me.
¿Cómo
They used to
está?
call me greñuda
Oh, oh.
because I
um,
never brushed
have
my
you
hair.
seen? Oh,
Yeah.
have you seen?
This is
What's
this is where the trauma comes
Jumanji?
from.
Jumanji,
Oh, the little
little
monkey
wolf
boy.
boy. The little, yes, poor little thing, dude. This is how I saw my
No.
brother, like, Like when they called him Lobito, he's like, "Where's the little wolf boy?" This is like what I saw. This is what my brain saw. Like little wolf.
No. Oh my
That's
God.
terrible.
Our
My
family
poor
was our
brother.
first bullies.
So yeah, so I'm like, could I do stand up? I'm like, even if I fail, I can take it. Like I'm like, I'm built for this. I can do it. I can do it. Anyway,
Oh
um,
my gosh.
that's all I got, team. That's all I got. I hope you guys
Wow.
laughed.
I feel like this was a very vulnerable episode, but it explains a
If you're
lot.
listening, shout out. Yeah, give us your nickname, your childhood nickname.
Yeah,
I don't
tell us in the comments. Or it doesn't have to be yours. What nickname did you give to your cousins? They called me Bigfoot at one point
Yeah.
too. Because yeah,
Oh.
because since I'm half white, and my dad, he's 6'2", 6'2". He's either 6'2" or 6'4". I can't remember. I think he's 6'2". And whenever I turned like 12, I just shot up like a weed. And my two cousins that I would always spend time with, Adeline and Jasmine. Adeline was the same age as me. Jasmine was 2 years younger than me. Well, their mom is 5 foot. And their dad is my mom's brother, and I don't remember how tall he is, maybe like 5'10" or something like that. So like tall for a Mexican guy, but like not, he's not the tallest guy. So whenever I was like 12 years old and Adeline was 12 years old, I was like a huge height difference from her, and to this day, like she's only 5 foot. So there would be times where like if I went over to their house and I don't know, like we went swimming or something, and then like the clothes got wet and like I needed to borrow clothes. After a certain point, I couldn't borrow clothes anymore because I wasn't fitting into the same clothes as they were. And then my feet grew really big. I'm a size 9, and I think they're like a size 6. And there was this one time that we went to, well, they started calling me Bigfoot because my shoes, like my feet wouldn't fit their shoes anymore. And like, so it started turning into this running joke. And then there was this one time that we went to the baseball fields, and I can't remember what we were doing. We were just like being stupid kids and like climbing the fence or something. And when we climbed the fence, my flip-flop broke. And so I didn't want to tell anybody because I was embarrassed, because that was already my nickname, was Bigfoot. So I'm like over here like limping like in the baseball fields, and they were like, "Jenny, what's wrong with your foot?" And I was like, nothing. And then they looked down and my flip-flop broke, and they were like, "Oh my God, Bigfoot." And I'm like, stop calling me that. Yeah.
Oh, Jenny, my heart goes out to you. I have follow-up thoughts. I have follow-up questions, like Marcelo would say. Um, okay, so on that subject, you've seen my parents. My mom's pretty itty bitty. She's like 5 feet, maybe 5'1". My dad's pretty tall. He's like 6 feet, and I'm 5'4", and that's considered like average. Like that's the average height of like an American female. But I'm in Mexico, I'm tall. Like I'm like, Jenny's tall. Jenny's I think taller than me. But I have
Yeah.
that same issue because at some point I couldn't borrow my cousin's swimsuits because I just was too tall. But I also couldn't borrow my aunt's because I didn't have boobs. So like I
Yeah.
just it was a whole issue. It's like you're not a woman, but you're not a little kid, but you don't fit into these shoes. My mom
Yeah.
my mom grew up with sisters. And she was just I love you, mom. She was a drama queen. She's like, "Oh no, don't borrow my shoes. You're gonna stretch them out." She's like, "You savage." I was like, "Mom, you meanie." And she's like, "I don't know where you got those feet, but you can't borrow my shoes." And I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, but this leads me into dating, um, because I've never really dated Mexican guys, and they were like, "Are you just like you just don't like us or something?" And I was like, "No, bro. Like we're literally the same height. Like we could be related. Like we could be cousins, dude. We could be cousins, and we're the same height. Like." Nowhere in my
Yeah.
brain does my brain think like attractive. I think like family
Like
album.
primo.
I think like primo. Yeah, I'm like I see you like a brother.
I think Ancestry.com. I
Exactly.
think
I'm
23
like, I
and
need
me.
some 23 and me. I'm like, I need someone that looks the opposite of me. Someone I know I'm
Yeah.
not related to, bro. That's funny, Jenny. But I don't know if you had that same issue, but yeah, there was a difference. Either it was hit or miss. Some Mexican guys were like my height and some were taller, but there was not a lot of them. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm trying to think. Well, I dated a lot of Mexican guys because I lived in Cruces, so that was the
Mm,
majority. I mean, they were all taller than me, but like only by a few inches. One of them was
yeah.
tall. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
If he's watching, wishing you nothing but the best, man. Val introduced me to him.
Uh,
Yeah.
did I? Oh
Yeah.
wow, that's crazy.
I can't say his name.
Dang,
I
just
don't want to
kidding.
say his name.
Never mind. Let's do the subject
I feel like
anyway.
that should be a rule.
Anyway.
That should be a rule. No exes' names on these podcasts.
Absolutely, that's a good rule. That's a great
Yeah.
rule. Um, what else? Yeah, tell us your family nicknames. Tell us all the funny stuff. All the
Oh,
height
gringa.
differences. All the.
Or no, not
Oh yeah, I
gringa.
could see that. Wera.
Not gringa because like yeah, güera. Yeah, like actually that was so cute. So there was this one
Hmm.
time that I called my aunt who when I was growing up, she was with my uncle, but they got divorced a few years ago. But I love her so much. Like she is one of my favorite aunts, and like I just have so many fond memories of her. And I called her on her birthday, and she was with her mom. And I heard her telling her mom, she was like, "Oh, estoy hablando con Jenny," and her mom was like, "La güera," and I was like, "Oh, my
Hmm.
heart." So yeah, they would call me La güera,
Hmm.
but trying to think.
That's cute.
Yeah. I'm
That's
like, are
funny.
there any
That's
nice
funny.
ones?
I hope that's not insulting though, because I feel like Mexicans
No.
will say that, like call you out for your hair color, like the blondie,
Yeah.
like la güerita, or or your
Mhm.
skin tone. But I was like la morena, and I kind of liked it. I was like,
Oh,
oh,
I
like
love
that sounds nice.
that.
But it was like the tan one. I was like, yeah. And then
Yeah.
there's a song that's called Morena Mia, and I was like, it's really
Oh,
romantic, and I'm just
yeah.
like, oh, like
It's
I don't know,
about
I liked it.
me.
It's about me.
Yeah.
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 But I've heard people get offended. They're like, yeah, they used to call me, this. And I was like, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
that
it was
makes me
out of love.
sad. Yeah, well, that makes me
Yeah.
sad because there are negative connotations towards it. Like, a lot of people are called morena as an insult. And I'm like, that's so beautiful, though. Like, and like,
Hmm.
especially nowadays, like, that's what people are aiming for. Like, people are always wanting to go get tan. So it's like, just embrace it, you
Hmm.
know? Like, forget what the haters
Hmm.
say because, like, truly, a lot of them just want to be like you and look like you. Yeah.
Hmm.
Trying to think of like other
Yeah.
nice ones. Actually, my grandma, she does this thing where she has like a name for all of her granddaughters. So like my oldest cousin, she calls her muñeca.
Oh.
For my little cousin Camian, she calls her mi vida, and then she calls me her
Hmm.
princesa. Yeah.
Hmm.
So love her, miss her.
Dang. That's really cute. Um, we need to dedicate a whole episode, but whenever to like these like what would you call them, nicknames or like pet names? But
Yeah.
we should. But in Latin culture, like the way you express love is like mi amor or mi vida or mi corazón. It's like
Mhm.
very like poetic. Like it's so like oh.
Yeah.
So with my husband, like we'll say he'll be like, "Oh, mi amor," and all these things. And I think it's different in English. Well, you can say like my
It's
love,
just
my
like babe
darling,
in English.
babe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um but there's yeah, it's a different vibe for sure. Yeah.
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 All right. Well, I feel like this was a really good episode. It was very therapeutic.
Mhm.
I laughed a lot.
It was. Yeah, my face hurts. Yeah,
Yeah, same.
that was good. All right, team, drop the comments down below. You know where to find us, and I don't know what else, Jenny.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much it. We do plan on doing some more episodes similar to this, where we highlight specific people. I know for sure I want to do one on Jenny Rivera. Would love to do, like, who else? Like, for sure, oh my gosh, tongue twister. Walter Mercado. There's me getting nervous and speaking my Spanish. What's his name? They just came out with a documentary about him.
Juan Gabriel?
Yes, I want to do one on him.
Okay.
Because I didn't realize he was from Juarez. So it's actually really cool to kind of see and hear some of his stories. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of relatable. Like, I've never been to Juarez, but I grew up right next to it. So I feel like the culture is very similar, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right, friends.
All right.
We love you so much. Thank you for joining us today.
We love you. Thank you for joining us.
And we'll see you next time.
We'll see you later. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Mwah.